What we do know is a 43-year-old victim was attacked last night around 10:30 with a machete. John, for the most part, Nebraskans haven't felt the effects of the Missouri River flooding as badly as they have across the river on the Iowa side, but unfortunately that could all change. I'm going to go ahead and put this thermometer in the car right now. Right now it says it's about 100 degrees. We're going to go ahead and check that in a little bit to see just how hot it can get inside these cars. People in this neighborhood weren't talking much earlier today, but now we've actually found the victim himself. But you can still see the remains of the old LPS district office here on O Street. Crews are actually still out here right now working to remove some of this rubble from the site. Earlier today, they were out here and they were actually spraying water on some of this debris. They're being very cautious for any of those potential hotspots that may still be out here. In Lincoln, Catherine Crane, 1011 News.
11 News at 10. Good evening. I'm Vanessa Flowers. One Wilbur family says they were sent a Christmas miracle. 1011's Catherine Crane joins us with much more. Catherine.
Vanessa, a routine trip to the post office turned up a Christmas surprise for one lucky family, and they say they feel very blessed.
It's a Christmas angel. It's a Christmas miracle.
And it came by way of the USPS.
3 large packages with no return address, which that was strange.
Casey Steffensmeyer brought the boxes home.
And when I opened them, they were full of Christmas presents for my 3 kids. And I cried as there was no letter, no names of who it was from. And whoever it is, I wish I could give them a big hug and thank them personally.
3 mystery packages postmarked from Sioux City.
It really, made us feel awesome to know that people still care.
More than a dozen wrapped presents, each labeled with the name of one of her 3 children.
My middle daughter, Elena, she's 7, and she walked in the house and saw the Christmas presents, and her face just lit up.
I said, "Who was those from?"
And I said, "They're from someone with a kind heart I don't know."
I think they're really nice.
I said, "It is amazing." And I said, "You know why it's amazing?" And she said, "Yeah, because Christmas is about giving."
Without these gifts from their secret Santa, this Christmas wouldn't be the same.
My health is very, very poor. Our medical bills are astronomical, and it's been a very, very tough year financially, and Christmas is going to be very tight this year.
On top of the store-bought gifts, the Steffenmeyer kids will each get one very special present.
Someone took the time to make each one of my kids a handmade quilt, and that's something that you can't buy in a store. That's something that they can have forever and hold and treasure and will never, ever forget this Christmas.
Now the kids will be waiting to open those presents until Christmas morning. And Vanessa, they really have no idea who did this and made it such a special Christmas to remember. They don't know anyone in Sioux City, but they sure would like to say thank you to whoever it may be.
Story on 1011 News at 10. Good evening, I'm Dave Roberts.
And I'm Vanessa Flowers. Is it unconstitutional or just a pain? A Central Nebraska man thinks it's both and wants the law blocking his run for the U.S. Senate seat repealed. Here's 1011's Catherine Crane with this special report.
Remember last year when lawmakers amended the Election Act? Don't think so? It didn't get much attention. Senator Avery says that's part of the problem. When it comes to inalienable rights, Jim Jenkins is ready to defend his.
Well, the law prevents competition.
A law passed last year says a person who wants to run for office can't change parties within the calendar year of that election. That's a problem for Jenkins, who tried to switch from Democrat to Independent January 10th.
Why we would restrict the participation of citizens in our democratic system is beyond me. It's just patently unfair. I think it's, without sounding over the top, it's un-American.
And he's not the only one who disagrees with the law.
It's unconstitutional, and I think Jim Jenkins ought to challenge it in the courts, and he would win.
Senator Bill Avery says states can restrict access to the ballot, but only if there's a good reason.
And I asked Senator Nelson several times on the microphone, what is the compelling state interest for this amendment? And he never was able to answer that.
No, I don't believe it was unconstitutional, and I can recall that Senator Avery suggested that it might be, And also it was suggested from the Secretary of State. So what I did was go to the Attorney General and get an informal opinion from the Attorney General's office, and they said there were no constitutional problems with that.
During the bill's hearing in February of 2011, Neil Erickson, representing the Secretary of State, said, quote, "Actually, I believe this is probably unconstitutional. I think it probably violates freedom of association." But not one member of the committee asked any questions in response to that allegation. Senator John Nelson says the law is designed to protect the democratic process.
It's a matter of elemental unfairness as far as we're concerned. We have the primary process. It's a weeding out process. It gives everybody a chance to see all the candidates.
Nelson says this law prohibits candidates from bypassing the primary, but Avery doesn't see it that way.
Voters must have the opportunity. It is their right to vote for the candidate of their choice. And when the state puts obstacles in the way of candidates appearing on the ballot, then the state is running very, very close to violating the Constitution.
This is some politician somewhere deciding that they don't want competition, and they're going to prevent people in the election year from getting in and running against them.
Protecting themselves, Jenkins says, at the expense of the people.
I think there's some infringement there, yes, but you have to have guidelines and rules. That's what this process is all about.
We're not perfect, and the legislative process is imperfect in times, and sometimes we make mistakes. I thought we made one that day.
A mistake Jim Jenkins says he's working to fix with sympathetic senators. However, repealing the law won't change anything in time for this election. Catherine Crane, 1011 News.
And while those soldiers return home to their loved ones for Christmas, not everyone is as lucky. There are still thousands of service members spending their holidays overseas away from their families. But one local group of men wants to make their family's Christmas day a little brighter. 1011's Catherine Crane shows us how they're spreading the holiday spirit.
Bishop Price, Magic, Samurai, Castle.
Christmas shopping. Some love it, others avoid it.
Well, that should be right around here, shouldn't it?
But these men are stocking up on stocking stuffers for two families they don't even know.
It pays off to do good things, and we could use a little more goodwill, I think.
They're sending gifts to the families of local soldiers who are stationed overseas.
Just what they do for us is, I mean, doesn't even touch what they do for us. Hopefully we can make the kids' Christmas a little better. Hopefully we can make the military person's Christmas a little better, knowing that their children are having a somewhat better Christmas even though mom or dad isn't with them.
Kind of tugs at your heartstrings. They can't be there.
Troy Knox and his buddies came up with the idea for their Random Acts of Kindness group. The goal is simple, and it comes from the heart.
Just make their holidays a little brighter, you know, that maybe a little bit of a connection.
It's going to make them ecstatic. I mean, to not be able to be with your entire family and then to have these gifts that you've wanted show up and have them on Christmas morning, it'll be nice.
Each member of the group contributes around $20 a month or whatever they can chip in. And although they're in the spirit of giving, around the holidays, money can be tight.
Sometimes I feel that way, but the fact of the matter is, if you continue to give, you shall continue to receive, and I firmly believe that.
Just kind of shows a little bit of money here gathered up between people can add up pretty quickly.
So armed with a few $100 in a shopping cart, they go about their business.
The feeling, it's an awesome feeling when you do something for somebody, whether they need it or not. It's, you brighten their day, and it just feels good to do something for other people.
Spreading holiday cheer to two lucky service members' families. In Lincoln, Catherine Crane, 1011 News.
This year, the Random Acts of Kindness group provided presents for two families, but they hope to expand. If you'd like to join their group, you can log on to our web channel at 1011now.com for more details.